Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the planet Earth, the John Campea Show podcast, coming from right here in our quaint little studio. I'm, of course, your host, John Campea. I'm joined in studio today by Ray Ora.
Hey, everyone.
Jonathan Voico. Robert Meyer Burnett is here.
No strings on me, vato.
That's something to do with what we were talking about before the show started. And most importantly, of course, you guys are here. Thank you so much for being here, making our little show part of your day. And here's how today's show is going to go. We're going to start off by talking about a few predetermined topics we got lined up for you guys. Then in the second part of the show, well, that's normally when we take your live comments and questions, but we're not actually going to be able to do that today because we have what's every once in a while, we got to do a bit of a tech day where we're getting some new tech put in and we need our time today to get that all set up. So it's going to be a little bit of a shorter show today, but still, we're very glad that you guys are here. All right. That all down, guys. Let's get things kicked off here, shall we? We're going to start off with this. If I had a nickel for every time a film fan has come up to me at a movie theater, at the mall, or something like that, and said, John, when are we going to get a Meet the Parents 4? Oh, I'd be a rich man. No, I would have $1. I've never once had anybody ever ask me, John, when are we getting a Meet the Parents 4? I myself have never asked out loud, when are we going to get a Meet the Parents 4? I have never wanted a Meet the Parents 4. But don't you worry, because Ben Stiller got you covered anyway. Hollywood Reporter is now reporting that not only are we getting a Meet the Parents 4, but joining Ben Stiller and Robert De Niro's Ariana Grande is going to be joining, of course, hot off the heels of all the awards season. And listen, with all due seriousness, amazing performance in Wicked. She really surprised me. I did not expect that. She was capable of what we saw in that movie. She was phenomenal. And she's going to be joining a Meet the Parents 4. Now, according to the story in the Hollywood Reporter, they're saying that the basic outline of the story is this. Ben Stiller and his wife's son, who we first met as a little Fokker in Meet the Parents 3, Little Fockers, is now older and getting married. Only, the Hollywood Reporter describes the fiance as an over-the-top, ball-busting person that Ben Stiller and his wife think is completely inappropriate for their son, and that is going to be played by Ariana Grande. Okay. I mean, that's not bad. A little Father of the Bride-ish, maybe, in there. Still not bad. I am curious about this, because, Jonathan, maybe you can look up, when did Little Fockers come out? I'm going to go out on a limb and guess 20 years. I'm terrible with dates, but I'm going to guess 20 years?
2010, so 14.
Okay, so I was off by
15.
6 years. I was off by a bunch. 2014 was when the last one came out.
Scott Mance.
Now, I'm no Scott Mance when it comes to movie dates.
So 2010.
So the first movie comes out, and it was brilliant. The first one was hilarious. Meet the Parents was hilarious. And it made around $360 million, which is great for a little comedy like that. Fantastic. Well, then they did the sequel called Meet the Fockers. I think Dustin Hoffman was in there,
and
right?
Barbra Streisand.
That's right. They were the parents. And it wasn't so good, but it still made over $500 million because the first movie was so good, everybody wanted to go see it. Then they made the third film, and it was the lowest grossing that they had, Little Fockers, because Meet the Parents 2 was not very good, and Little Fockers was worse. It wasn't the worst movie I've ever seen, but it was definitely the worst of the franchise. So we haven't had it in, what did we say now? How many years? 16 years?
14.
14 years?
Yeah.
Hasn't been around 14 years. The final two that they did in the franchise declined in quality. The last one in the franchise was the lowest grossing that they had. I understand Ben Stiller's really hot right now with Succession, or Severance, I should say. I don't understand the logic behind this. What studio head anywhere said, you know what we really need on our docket? We need to Meet the Parents 4. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I won't at least check it out. It's Ben Stiller. It's Robert De Niro. I got to admit, pretty impressed with Ariana Grande and Wicked. I'll see it. I don't think there's going to be a lot of other people that do.
I wonder if this is going to be meant for just straight to Peacock. It's Universal.
But is that something Ben Stiller is going to do right now? I mean, maybe. It depends on that. But let's say you're Peacock. Why would you want to Meet the Parents 4? Why are you going to invest a ton of money in the Meet the Parents 4? I do not understand the logic behind this. And again, I'm not saying it won't be great. Maybe it will be great. I don't know how any marketing department, like how did Catherine Hahn in the studio ever let the studio move forward with this project? Like, there's no way that we cannot sell this movie. I don't know, Rob, you hear about it, Meet the Parents 4. What do you think?
Well, okay. I think as a legacy property, it's a no-brainer IP. But the thing about it is, I think that when it comes to something like Peacock, this will forever run on Peacock. Forever. The Meet the Parents movies are perennial favorites. They'll be watching these in 50 years, assuming humanity still exists. And the AIs haven't used drone technology and gotten rid of us all. But they're going to watch this forever. So it's the kind of thing, I think it's an easy, no-brainer. It is a no risk, no muss, no fuss. They say the writer of the first 3 movies is going to direct it. So I guess it's your can't lose proposition because there's no creativity left in any of the executive branches of Hollywood at all. I mean, it probably somebody was going down a list, and even the people that's the one they come up with. I'm with you. Like, why would it? I mean, I understand why somebody would make this. I don't think the world needs it. I mean, it blows my mind when you're going to make a Meet the Parents 4 when you could take a chance on something original that could really change the fortunes at your studio. Where's like the Matrix of 2025?
Well, I mean, but then you get, look, we've gone over this a lot. There was
course.
more original film made today than in any other time in history. I don't think
not
they're making this.
But I don't think at the studio level.
Well, I mean, we got Elio about to come out.
Sure.
Like, they make all these original things.
Sure, but this they could have done something else. Anything else.
Well, I mean, but that's the thing. I don't think
this is just a business decision
that they decided to make this instead of something else. It was like, I just don't like, if we're in the boardroom right now, how do you, let's say you're the one making the pitch and I'm one of the financial guys, whatever. How do you sell this idea? Saying, especially when the franchise fizzled out. The last one they did was the lowest grossing of the franchise. It was on a definite downward spiral. It's been 14 years. How do you sell the idea of this is going to be a money maker for us? Like, how do you make?
Here's
that
how I would
pitch?
do it. I'd walk in the boardroom. I'd say, guys, my daughter got a call from her friend Ariana Grande yesterday, and she was talking about how much she loved the Meet the Parents franchise. And my daughter said, well, you should talk to my dad. We should make another one. And so Ariana Grande called me that night, and she's agreed to star in it, coming off of Wicked.
Maybe, but if you got a pipeline to Ariana Grande right now, especially coming off of Wicked,
but
don't you have 20 other projects you could maybe?
But this
put
is
her
her
in?
passion project, and she's agreed to cut her fee.
Okay, if that was the pitch in the boardroom,
You asked me to do it.
if
She's
that's
working
the
for
pitch in
scale
the
on this one,
boardroom,
John.
Maybe.
And she
That's
agreed.
the pitch.
And
maybe.
she agreed to write the theme song for the movie, and we get the publishing.
That's a hard one to turn down then. Okay. And then if the director,
There you go.
you may have got me. And then if the director also comes in and says, we will keep the budget under 45 million. If
There you go.
Everything you just said happened, and they came in and said, we'll keep the budget under 45 million, you might be able to make an argument then. You might be able to make a compelling argument. Still, I just don't understand the logic behind making. I mean, I love the first film as much as anybody. The first film was hilarious. I can't tell you a single thing about the other two because I was so disappointed in them both. I never watched either of them a second time.
Well, this is a big Universal franchise.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
look, man.
is it all that big?
Look, you know what Universal should bring back? If they're going to make a 4th Meet the Parents movie, you know what there's 4 movies of that they need a 5th one? Airport. There's Airport 75, Airport 77, and the Concorde, Airport 79. I am telling you,
Time
new
for Airport
movie. Bring it back.
I mean,
star-studded disaster franchise. Where's the new Airport movie? How come? They made a new Poseidon adventure movie. How come there's no Airport?
Okay, Rob.
That's the question everybody's asking.
Okay, but I
My
hear
inbox is
Ariana
literally
Grande
flooded with
loves
those questions.
airports.
Yeah, Ariana Grande, man. Let's do Airport 2030.
Look, technically, in its totality, this did make 1.2 billion dollars for them on low budget, but
Sure,
comedies.
over 3 films
Yeah.
that then went into decline. That's the thing. If it
But you
finished
ain't
off
never
on a
seen it
high
meet the
note-
parents like this.
If it finished off on a high note, I would kind of get it more. But
Right.
14 years later, when it finished on a low,
There's
And-
gonna be
and let's-
generations that don't even know what this is.
and here's the other thing: like, look, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you a fact. While he is absolutely in the pantheon of the gods of the greatest actors of all time, let's not pretend Robert De Niro is pulling in the box office these days. Like, what's the last movie he made that
The last movie he made, there was 2 of them in it.
There was 2 of them in it, and it still didn't make any money.
Two De Niro.
With the Alto Knights. I don't know. Guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Apparently
Two
they're
De Niro,
meeting
no
a
De Niro.
they're making a Meet the Parents 4. I love the first movie. I do not see any logic in making this. I don't know. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your
I got Rob with that one.
All right. With that down, let's move on to this, shall we? You know, we've talked a lot about on the show about how the biggest public enemy number one of all the streaming services is churn. Churn, for those of you who don't know, is the term that's basically used for people who sign up for a streaming service, and then when the show they're watching right now ends or they get through it, they cancel the streaming service until maybe sometime later in the future when another show comes on that they want to see or whatever, and then they cancel again. It is the number one thing that streamers are trying to fight against. In their fight against churn, they've turned to some traditional methods like bundling. You know, you can get Disney, Hulu, and HBO Max, and apparently their churn rate for those services has dropped in half. So that's working out, but they still want more. Disney Plus now is trying something new. Bribe the audience to not quit. In other terms, incentives. Disney Plus is now starting to offer perks and incentives if you continue to hold on to your Disney Plus membership. The Verge, the tech website, describes it as this. Disney and Hulu are both launching new perks programs that offer subscribers discounts, digital freebies, and sweepstakes in an effort to stand out from the streaming competition. The Disney Plus Perks program is available now in the US with an international rollout planned later this year. Offers include a 6-month Dash Pass membership. By the way, guys, none of you should be using Dash Pass, Uber Eats, none of it. You're spending 3 times the amount of money that you would if you just went out and got it yourself. Anyway, offers include a 6-month Dash Pass membership from DoorDash, discounted stays at Walt Disney World, and savings when you shop from Adidas or Funko, along with rotating contests. Hulu is launching its own loyalty scheme on June 2nd. Details on that are still to come, but it will include offers from companies including Microsoft, Pure Green, and LG when the new perks dropping weekly over the summer. All right. So Disney is now making deals with third parties to say, you know, let's be part of Disney Plus and you'll get 15% off your next Funko. Be a part of Disney Plus, and for all you sneakerheads, well, most sneakerheads buy Nikes, don't they? But for those sneakerheads, you want the new pair of Adidas, you get 20% off Adidas or whatever the number is going to be. Plus new monthly giveaways, all that kind of stuff. A friend of mine asked me today, is this really what they're counting on to kill churn? To which my response was, and I kind of believe, there is no one magic bullet that is going to stop churn. Fighting churn is going to be a battle of attrition. It's going to be a multi-pronged attack. It's going to be bundling, which is the most effective thing they've done so far. It's going to be offering perks and incentives, but then there's probably going to be other things that they're going to do as well. And Rob, I absolutely guarantee you, 1 year from now, we're going to see every streaming service is going to have something like this. Every streaming service is going to have their partnerships with third-party brands that, hey, you know, if you're a member of Netflix, you get 10% off your next visit to Monday Rub and Tug or whatever, whatever the local company.
Where's that?
Whatever the businesses are, right?
Cable companies do it, so why shouldn't they?
Yeah, I mean, that's right. So I think that's going to be part of it as well. Then I think there are going to be others. There's going to be other things, like there's going to be the perks and incentives. There's going to be bundling, and then probably other things that they use that I'm not quite sure off the top of my head what those would be. Anyway, Rob, Disney's the first one out of the gate coming out with these. By the way, they're not the first. I guess there have been others where it's like, but that's been more like Verizon. Subscribe to T-Mobile and you get Peacock for free or something like that. But this is actually the streamer during the perks. What do you think of this strategy?
I think it's a good strategy in the sense that, people love perks. It's like NPR giving you you sign up for a new membership for LAist and you get a cup or you get a container or a book bag or something. I mean, people love that. And if you're somebody that makes use of these kinds of things, then it can work for you. I mean, I think the problem is people forget that perks exist. I mean, if they make things like you said, DoorDash, it gets expensive. So, but people use it. I guess it works out. I mean, I look at Hulu. If they're going to offer perks, how about some cash off the new Hot Toys Predator 2.0?
Oh, there you go. That seems oddly specific.
I mean, that just got dropped. If you didn't get one of those original Predators, 15 years ago, now you got another one. Give me some love for some Hot Toys. I'd be into that. But to promote their new Killer of Killers.
Yeah,
I hate offers that make you buy more stuff. You know what I mean? And the discounts that they give are usually discounts.
But that's the whole point of offers is to get you to buy stuff.
No. But I mean, make it be something that's not available. You don't have to be a Disney Plus subscriber to get 10% off at this place. You can find it on it's a normal discount that you can find without Disney. That's what I'm saying. I hate
you get
those
Disney
offers.
Plus with that 10%.
Yeah, but
Other places does.
Well, I'm sure Disney's probably going to make these exclusive. Like if they're going to make this deal with Funko, it's going to have to be an exclusive.
Right.
thing.
It's got to be worth it.
How's this for an incentive? Well, like one of our channel viewers put in, and I lost it. I'm sorry, I forgot. I didn't see who did it. Oh no, there it is. Marcus Y. What about something like this? Let's say you're Disney Plus, and you want to fight churn. What say, if you're Disney Plus, you say, for people who have been continuously subscribed for at least 1 year, when we're dropping Daredevil Season 2, you get access to it 3 days earlier than everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Or like the Punisher Special Edition, whatever it's called.
Since you're Disney, if you've been a member of Disney Plus concurrently without interruption for 1 year, when Avengers Doomsday comes out, you have exclusive ability to buy tickets to a 1 week early fan screening.
Oh, nice.
And they have 50 fan screen. That means not everybody can go.
Yeah.
And then listen, because most of the streamers, other than the idiots at Netflix, HBO Max can have you've been a member for HBO Max continuously for a year, you get early access to the Lantern series or the new Supergirl movie. You get access to buy tickets to one. What do you think about that? Is that something that would encourage people to keep their memberships longer?
I think so. Stuff like that. Or even if it's Funko, make an exclusive pop that you can only get as a member.
There you go. That's what
not Hot Toys, but Funko, if they did a Funko
just a Disney Plus exclusive.
A Hulu exclusive for the new Killer of Killers Predator.
Yeah.
And you have to be a member of Disney Plus Hulu to get it. I mean, that that's the kind of thing where perks are, I think, would really work. Something that is special that you could only get if you're a member.
Because these other things, you kind of get them. You buy a concert ticket, these perks pop up. You buy, honestly, even AMC. Anytime I buy a ticket from AMC, I get those pop-ups on the ads.
That's right.
I do like that exclusive kind of thing.
I do too, and I Harkins too. They have if I buy on their app, there's ads that pop up where you can get discounts.
What if, just real quick off of that, exclusive Disney Plus, if you've been for a certain amount of time, you can get a popcorn bucket, a specific Avengers popcorn bucket. Partner with AMC or whoever.
I think a lot of these offers too, if they can do it,
it'd be cool.
Of course, make it exclusive, make it something people want, but do it random. Maybe even do offers where that are a random day for that day only to keep people oh, what if they offer that thing again? Like that one day, I got to keep my
Sure.
subscription.
Sort of like a, yeah,
like
yeah.
a flash deal.
One-time thing.
Like a
It's
flash deal.
every month
Ultra.
they can offer something like that.
Yeah, something where they're like, oh, dude, did you hear they gave away Fantastic Four tickets to blah, 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 blah. Like that one day for only if you were a subscriber or something like that. And you.
Because I'll tell you what, for me, 15% off a pair of Adidas is not going to keep me subscribed.
Yeah, exactly.
If I'm a churner, which I'm
Exactly.
not.
That's true.
So it's not a bad move. It'll help a little bit, but I think they got to take some bigger swings.
Did it?
Yeah, I think you're probably right. Well, T-Mobile has like stuff every Tuesday.
Yes,
Right.
and they give away tons of stuff.
Yeah.
So
Didn't Hulu offer a pause program? What was ever the benefit to that? Do they still do that? You know how you could pause their membership? That's something I wanted to bring up. Is that something?
Starlink does that, but that's the thing. That's the very definition of churn.
Okay,
right?
so that
Pausing
didn't
your
help.
membership is the definition
Right,
of churn.
okay.
Maybe they think if you allow somebody, maybe the thought is if someone's going to churn, they're going to churn. Why don't we at least keep them close? So instead of canceling the membership, you've paused it, but you still got it. All you got to do is load up Hulu and hit unpause, or I don't know.
They give you like
still-
a 3 months.
that doesn't. I don't think that would help their situation
Yeah,
though much
no.
either. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about Disney offering these perks and incentives? Do you see, I mean, I do, other streamers following suit? Do you think they need to take bigger swings? Maybe some of these things are really appealing to you. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to this, shall we? I'll say it. I think one of the most anticipated movies in a lot of fandom coming out is the announcement of the live-action Zelda movie. I think this movie has a lot of potential. I mean, it could also be incredibly terrible. I mean, this thing could go off the rails easy. But I mean, listen, a live-action Legend of Zelda movie, especially coming off the big popularity and incredible success of things like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, things like that. A live-action Zelda movie could, if done right, could be bonkers huge. Bonkers huge. Now, we're still a ways off from it, but according to some reports that are now floating around, they may have zeroed in on who is actually going to play, not Link, but their Princess Zelda. This comes to us from CBR. All right, so according to industry insider Daniel Richmond, who has a decent track record, not always right many times, Hunter Schafer is being eyed for the role of Zelda in the new live-action Legend of Zelda movie. Many fans have already called for Schafer to get the role, in part because of her physical resemblance to the iconic video game princess. What seals the deal for fans with the potential casting is Schafer's acting abilities, as she has drawn praise for her role as a transgender high school student Jules Vaughn in the hit HBO drama series Euphoria. She is set to return for the show's third and final season. She also played Tigress Snow in the Hunger Games prequel, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and starred in the horror movie Cuckoo. So, it's sounding like, now according to these reports, nobody's saying it's a done deal. Nobody's saying it's a lock. How would I feel about it? Did you got an image here just so people know who we're talking about?
Yeah, I just looked her up.
And now if I looked at her and thought, could I see her in a Zelda movie? The answer is yes. I could totally, but again, to me, I'm the
for sure.
I'm the type of guy that I don't really think it's all that important that an actor you're getting physically resembles the character and the whatever. Hugh Jackman is the most perfect example of this. He looked nothing like Wolverine, but now we can't even think of Wolverine without thinking of Hugh Jackman. Anyway, but for people who that is important to them, I think she's pretty bang on.
Yeah, that's
I was not a big fan of the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes overall, but there were some things like a number of the performances in it were actually very, very
Yeah, it was really
strong.
well made.
And she was quite good in it.
Yeah.
And it's a very well-made movie again. And I didn't think it was a bad movie. I just didn't love it, but she was great in it. So I don't have a big, test size here, sample size for her to really think of whether I think she'd be perfect or not. I can only go by what I've got. What I've got is I thought she was really good in that one movie. I think people are going to really like the look of the character because I think she looks great. I don't know, Rob, what do you think about this? And how are you feeling these days about this whole idea about a live action?
Well, I think you're right. I think, obviously we saw something like Minecraft, people grow up playing these games. Zelda has been around for a lot longer than Minecraft has. So I think that Zelda is one of those properties that's, if it looks great, you know, and if it gives people what they like. I love the design of characters in Zelda, the whole look of the world. It's got that sort of anime-esque feel to it.
Yeah.
And if it looked great, if they figured out a way to make it look unique, I think people could get really excited about it. I mean, again, like anything else, it has to be treated with respect. It also has to be, you know, I don't think that there's a certain tone to Zelda that I think would be tough to do in live action, but you'd have to nail it. So you would need somebody that, I mean, if like a Travis Knight, I know he's doing Masters of the Universe, but somebody like him who has the experience of doing a Kubo and the Two Strings. As a matter of fact, Travis Knight would probably be a great director for
totally
Legend of Zelda movie. But he's busy with his own new franchise now. But you need somebody you need a director that really could nail the tone. But I think it could be a great, if it's pulled off, it'd be huge.
And what do you think about her, the casting of her in general?
I mean, she looks great. I mean, I totally could see her playing the character. I mean, again, it's going to be, these characters are tough. I think they're deceptively difficult to do. People think, oh, anybody can play these roles, but I don't think so. She's got the right look, though, man. I can see all you have to do is, if people are going to fan cast, there's probably stuff on the web with her already in the as the character. So bring it on. Why not?
Now,
Could be great.
You watched Euphoria. Did
I did.
you not? Like, what did you think of her in that?
She's great. I mean, the cast of Euphoria is great. It made me glad that I don't have teenage girls, that show. But it's a good show, you know. In my younger days, I would have loved Euphoria. I would have put it right up on my shelf next to all of Greg Araki's teen apocalypse movies.
And by the way, like they've got a director, at least right now, they've got a director, Wes Ball, who did. Listen, I don't think it was the best of the Planet of the Apes movie, but I thought he did an incredible job directing Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
I do. I didn't realize I'd forgotten that.
He took a garbage YA novel. I'm sorry, I know it has its fans, whatever, but I thought he did a very good job of actually translating Maze Runner, which I thought was going to be just garbage, and then he made us like, oh, actually, he actually did a pretty good job making this thing. So I kind of like who they got as a director, and now casting. Now, who's going to play? The big question is going to be who plays Link. That's going to be the big one. And it's going to be really interesting to see which way they go with that. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Now, according to reports going on out there, they're currently looking at Hunter Schafer to play the Princess Zelda. Do you like that? I think it would work out pretty well if they did. I mean, I haven't seen her in much, but what I've seen her in, she's really good, and that's all that matters. And hey, whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. And of course, in the live chat, the comments of Chris Pratt as Link are flying all over the place.
Not Paul Walter Hauser? Come on.
Well, that would be the second choice, I think. All right. That down, guys. Let's move on to this, shall we? You know, one of the best comic book related television series of all time, I feel very comfortable saying this, one of the absolute best of all time is Penguin. Penguin, which we were excited about, but I don't think any of us were prepared for just how good it was going to be. And then even pulled in like the highest honors, being nominated for best drama series across the board, all that kind of stuff. Absolutely fantastic. Milioti, Colin Farrell, everybody just killed it in that show. Now, they're still kind of holding on that it was a limited series. But in a recent interview, the showrunner for Penguin was talking about, said not only do they still have the possibility of season 2 on the table, some people were thinking they're going to abandon that whole the Batman universe. She's saying they're also talking about other spin-offs for series for Matt Reeves's and Robert Pattinson's The Batman world. This comes to us from Deadline. As far as season 2 goes, LaFranc teases, beyond Colin Farrell, it depends on whether there's a story that we can make richer than what we've already done. I fully arced everything, says the showrunner, who made good on her plan to keep Penguin as a limited series. I'm in the process of exploring what would be if there will be more. As far as other spin-off series related to the Batman, we're in early stages, she says. So now remember, this is the showrunner herself coming out and confirming a couple of things. Number one, yeah, they're still working on putting together the possibility of a Penguin season 2. So that is not off the table. A lot of people have been speculating recently. It was off the table. She's saying we're still working on seeing if we can find the right thing to do it again. Then she's also said we are in early talks about more spin-off series. So Rob, let me ask you this, a couple questions. Number one, do you think they should do another Penguin, like a Penguin season 2? And if they were to do other spin-offs in the vein of Penguin, what would those spin-offs be? Or what could you see as some possibilities of that? Well, we'll start with what do you think about the idea of doing a Penguin season 2?
Well, first of all, it's a high bar. And I think that, again, if they've got they've got the story to tell, then by all means tell it. You know, there's a rich history they can draw from. I thought they did such a great job. You know, they really did what I think a lot of they took our rich tradition of crime thrillers, whether it's, you know, everything from Scarface to Goodfellas to The Sopranos to King of New York, all these things, and they used those as touchstones and made something really special and unique within the comic book realm. And as long as they continue to do that, I think by all means, if we get a second season, the quality that if it's 95% of the first season, we're going to get something that's also great. So absolutely 100% do that. But again, I think they're not, and I trust this creative team. They're not going to do it unless it's excellent.
Yeah.
You know, they're not going to phone anything in.
And they're clearly not rushing anything.
No. And they didn't rush Penguin itself. Other spin-offs they could do. I mean,
that's what I'm really
the obvious thing is you've got the Arkham, you know, all the Arkham criminals. And I think, you know, there's the underworld of Gotham. You know, we saw that in the Gotham show that we had that was on Fox and all that. So there's precedent for it. But I think that there's so many different members of Batman's rogues gallery that you could do something interesting with, that you could give that treatment to, that sort of more realistic, grounded crime thriller, Godfather-esque type of a thing. You know, make the Godfather 2 version of the Penguin. Penguin was season 1 was Godfather. Now do Godfather 2, and you bring in another character. I don't know who that would be. I mean, what you could do, you know, the obvious Catwoman, Joker, Riddler. Although I'd like to see them do something different.
You know what I'd like to see them do? Remember the Fox series Gotham?
Yeah.
They blew that show. I mean, it was a mixed bag. Some of it was really quite entertaining. Like the parts that was actually about Commissioner Gordon trying to like handle crime in the city was good. Whenever it tried to be a Batman light show, it never worked very well.
Right, that was the problem with that show.
You've got Jeffrey Wright in this universe as Commissioner Gordon. You do a true Gordon series.
That's a great idea.
And make it like Kiss the Girls or Along Came a Spider or like crime murder thriller kind of thing with Gordon, like dealing with, like not dealing with a Riddler, but like dealing with the dark underside of crime in that thing, like the true violent crime. And you have some psychopath serial killer out there, like, again, like in Unto, Along Came a Spider, something like that. I would kill to see that show. I think that would be great.
It's a great idea.
People laugh, but that always leads me to a dark version of Calendar Man.
Yeah. Yep. Because with Calendar Man, then you get into the whole what's the name of the story series again? The Halloween, not the Halloween Killer.
Why am I drawing a blank on this?
Why am I freezing on the name? It's like one of the most popular Batman stories. I was literally just talking about it the other day. What's that?
Hush.
Long Halloween.
Long Halloween. Yeah. Oh yeah. Thank you.
I mean, and the
Marcus
that would be a great thing to do. I mean, and also there's, you know, you could think of it. I keep going back to the Wire. Like, I love The Wire.
Oh, The Wire,
And how
yeah.
each season in The Wire, they focused on a different area of urban life. Like, the second season, you had the dock workers and the union, and then you had education, and then you had the news. So you could do a Wire-esque series about Commissioner Gordon and dealing with the Gotham PD in that Wire-esque or serial killer James Patterson, Alex Cross sort of a way, if that's what you wanted to do. That could be really cool. But again, you'd need to have great writing.
Yeah, and that seems what they have in abundance.
Like True Detective season 1 meets Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah. Yeah, I like you just do like a true gritty murder story crime thriller and a straight up like that with with a couple of characters that we know. I think that could be really fascinating for them. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think of this? The showrunner for Penguin is saying that they are still trying to see kicking the tires on a Penguin season 2, and they're in early talks for potential other The Batman Universe spin-off series. If they were to do more, which ones would you like to see? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. That down, let's move on to this, shall we? Going to give you a bit of a warning here. This story contains potentially, and I'll get to the why I'm using the word potentially spoiler material for the upcoming Fantastic Four movie. So we're going to put this little spoiler. Now, again, I emphasize potentially, and I'll get to why. I'm saying potentially, not definitely. But here's the basic gist of the story that's going around. Now, generally speaking, 99% of the time, when there are test screenings done in Hollywood, they are done in very controlled environments with very tight selected focus groups and done with a lot of checks and a lot of balances in place. And that's why most of the time, whenever you, of course, every movie has, oh, we got reports from the test screenings. And I always say, don't listen to them. It's 99%. I can't say 100, but 99% it's BS, whatever. But there's another kind of test screening. One that Marvel itself has done 2 or 3 times out of the 30 plus movies that they've made, which is more of what they call quote unquote public test screenings. These are done in generally regular movie theaters, and they have a wider base, and they use more people, and it doesn't quite have the checks, and it's not as tightly controlled of a focus group. And they call these things public test screenings. Semantics, but there is a big difference between them. What has absolutely been confirmed is that the other night, today's the 30th, Wednesday the 28th, a couple of these public test screenings took place for Fantastic Four. The big thing coming out of it, and this has been verified through several different places, as far as I can't attest to it, I wasn't there, so I'm just telling you what we've heard, okay, is a description of what happens in the post-credit scene. So I am about to read to you what is being reported coming out of these public test screenings of what happens in that post-credit scene. Then I'm going to explain my little asterisk to all of it. The folks over at Superhero Height read the following. The post-credit scene features Vanessa Kirby's Sue Storm reading to her and Reed's son, Franklin Richards. She gets up, leaves, and then when she comes back into the room, she finds Dr. Doom holding his mask and sitting next to little Franklin. However, it doesn't seem like fans will get their first glimpse at Robert Downey Jr. in the role, as the leak noted that his face is never shown. Although the costume and mask are described as being, quote unquote, very comic accurate. Okay. This raises a number of interesting questions. And then I'll get to my asterisks. And I want to know what you think about this, Rob. Number one, I think a lot of people assumed if, there's a post-credit scene in Fantastic Four, it would be somehow connected to the post-credit scene in Thunderbolts. Goes to the post-credit scene in Thunderbolts, they look up, there's been an interdimensional intrusion. What? And they open it up and they look up, there's a spaceship, and they zoom in and dun, 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 dun. It's a Fantastic Four ship, right? So a lot of people thought maybe that's how this movie ends, whatever. But some people thought maybe this movie ends, Fantastic Four ends with the world being destroyed in an incursion and they escape that. But according to this, and the Malta report's coming out, it ends with just mom reading a story to her little baby, leaves the room, comes back in, and some other actor not named Robert Downey Jr. in a Doctor Doom outfit and then taking off the mask, never seeing the face, but looking very comic accurate. So that's interesting because that's not kind of where people thought it was going to go. So it raises some questions about, well, how do they then bridge how Fantastic Four ends to the post-credit scene we got in Thunderbolts? Is the ship we see in Thunderbolts a completely another dimension's Fantastic Four? Raises a lot of questions. Here's what I'm going to say though, Rob. And again, I say this purely as a fan myself, speculating like all of you are speculating, and never let your speculation become expectation. Just pure theory, right? Could be right, could be wrong. I 100% believe this was the post-credit scene that these test audiences saw. But I do not believe this is the post-credit scene that's going to be in the movie. I believe, and again, this is pure John Campea, the movie fan, purely guessing and speculating, okay? Put no weight on this. I just throw it out there for you to discuss. I believe Kevin Feige and the folks at Marvel knew very well some stuff would come out about the movie. And it wasn't Robert Downey Jr. And I would bet that that post-credit scene that people saw is not actually going to be part of the movie, but was rather there put as a decoy. I do not think that scene happens at the end. I think this movie doesn't end that way. I don't think that's the post-credit scene. I do believe people saying that this is what was shown, but I believe it's a red herring. I believe it's totally a distraction. It's totally a decoy. And again, we don't know. Maybe it will be in there. But anyway, Rob, you read the reports. You saw what people are saying was a part and attached to this test screening stuff that multiple audiences saw. What's standing out to you and what's your takeaway from it?
Well, I mean, look, I'm still intrigued by the movie. The description from these test screenings did not light my fire, but when it comes to this post-credit scene, we know that the Russo brothers directed the new Avengers post-credit scene
yes,
in
they
Thunderbolts.
Did. That's right.
That movie already came out. Fantastic Four is a much longer, I would imagine the post-credit scene for Fantastic Four has to be a banger. It can't just be, oh, here's Doctor Doom. We know that's coming. You need to leave an audience breathless because the next Marvel movie we're going to see is Avengers Doomsday. And if there's a time to ratchet up interest where people can't wait to see what comes next, it's at the end of this movie. So I think you're right. I think they had a perfunctory scene or something. I think that we're going to be getting a much longer post-credit scene. As a matter of fact, John, the post-credit scene in Fantastic Four might be the most important post-credit scene in the entirety of the MCU. Because you've got an extra added bit where you get to set up, this is going into the Avengers Doomsday movie, the biggest superhero franchise of all time. You can't just leave people going, you gotta give people something here. You can't, like, I love the post-credit scene at the end of Infinity War, where Sam Jackson disappears and he's like, mother, and then you see the beep, 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 beep.
Yeah.
Going. It's gotta be something that's fairly substantial. And this did not sound substantial. All it's telling you is, oh, Doctor Doom's here. That's it. You've got to have something more than that. We know Doctor Doom's here. Tell us something we don't know. What does this mean? You got to give us more. So I think you're right. I don't think I don't know. And usually they don't show post-credit scenes to test audiences this far in advance.
Thank you for bringing that up, because that was the other thing. A lot of times, not just in test screenings, but also in early press screenings as well, they will often leave out any post-credit scene of that. So the fact that this is in there is one of the other reasons why I'm kind of thinking it's not real.
And then also in what we've seen in the trailers, the whole bit when she says, oh, you're late, I'm late, and they figure out she's pregnant. So this post-credit scene takes place 9 months, 10 months, 12 months later after she's given birth to Franklin.
Well, for all we know, the movie may take place over the course of a year.
That could be, right? Yeah, that could be true. I have no idea. But the fact that they would show a post-credit scene to a test audience seems a little sus to me.
Yeah, I mean, again, to me, I don't know that there's ever been a post-credit scene in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that's been important. You know, like even though I love the one where Sam Jackson disappeared, but if that wasn't there, does it actually change anything about seeing, you know, I just don't know if an MCU one has had that
but
yet.
it told us something. I mean, that's Sam Jackson and Maria Hill are gone.
Right.
So there's no joy there. So I think it
Also, as Captain Marvel is definitely coming.
It's coming. Yeah. And so it gives you a bridge. But in this, we need something big, man. We need something big going into Avengers Doomsday. And maybe we won't get it, but you know, anything like that's going to give the Fantastic Four more gravitas moving into Avengers Doomsday, which I think, look, the Avengers Doomsday, I don't think you can be stressed how important it is to Marvel. It better be good. I mean, the amount of money they're spending. So
look, it's okay. It's not the end of the world if you blow a Captain America Brave New World movie, which they did. They blew that movie. And that's all right. That's fine. It's even okay that you had an Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. That's fine. You cannot blow an Avengers titled movie. You just can't.
Especially, and you can't blow something going into that Avengers movie. You want everything about Avengers Doomsday to be the most spectacular thing ever.
Now, by the way,
George Lopez's Ultron.
I'm just going to throw this out there. Our friend Jeff Snyder, he spoke to somebody who was at one of these screenings. And now remember, this is one single person.
Yeah.
This is one single individual. You stop the wrong person on the street and say, hey, what do you think of The Godfather? They can say, I think it sucks and it's overrated.
Overrated, dude.
It's one person, okay?
It's mid.
Keep this in mind.
Yeah.
But Jeff talked to one person, and their basic attitude towards the film was, it's okay. Now, again, that's one person. The 10 people they were sitting beside might have loved it. The 10 people sitting beside them might have hated it. I don't know, but just take that. It's one thing, and that's kind of the one that's going around. You're seeing some headlines right now today saying the reaction from thing is mediocre. I think that's all coming just from Jeff Snyder saying he talked to one person who said it was okay. And maybe it is just okay.
Trailers have been great.
Well, the trailers, I think the trailers have been good.
Yeah.
I didn't like the trailers for Brave New World, and I didn't like the movie. I love the trailers for Thunderbolts. I love the
Thunderbolts
movie.
were great. Yeah.
So I know you can't always trust marketing, but the marketing has been spot on with these movies so far.
Yeah, again, I'm not as enthused about the marketing for Fantastic Four as I was for Thunderbolts, but I am more enthused by the marketing for Fantastic Four than I was for Captain America Brave New World. So, I mean, I don't know. It's interesting. This is an important film for them. Listen, if this film screws the pooch, if it's not good,
Yeah.
I don't think anybody should ever make another Fantastic Four movie ever. Because this property is just cursed. If you can't make a good one the fourth time at bat, just let it go. It can't be done. So I don't know. We'll see, and maybe it'll be the best thing ever. Who knows?
This would be the 5th time at bat.
If you count the corner,
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I just thought I'd throw it out there.
technically speaking, this will be their 5th time at it. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? I mean, reports coming out about what's in this post-credit scene, and maybe it's real. I actually believe it. I believe it, but I don't believe I think it's a fake. I don't think it's actually going to be in the movie. I think it's just there as a distraction. But how do you guys feel about it? Whatever your thoughts are, jump down to the comment section below and leave us your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, this is normally the part of the show where we go over and take your comments and questions. However, like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, today being Friday, it's a tech day for us. We have a bunch of new tech that we're getting installed and things updated and all that kind of stuff in here. It's going to take us some time. So we need the extra time today to get the studio all set up for Monday. So we're actually going to end today's episode of the John Campea Show right now. Thank you guys so much for being here and making our little show a part of your day. Big special thank you to all of you guys who are coming early, chat in the live chat, participate in the live chat, letting us know your thoughts. It's good to have you guys here. By the way, you can still send in questions to our tip link. You can find a link to that in the description below and just have them ready for us to read on Monday. I want to thank the people in the room with me, Ray Ora.
Hey, have a good weekend.
Jonathan Voico.
See you guys next week.
Writer, director, producer, Robert Meyer Burnett.
Great week, John. Thank you very much.
And the biggest of thank yous to you guys for being here. My name's John Campea, and until next time, my friends, rub and tug.